Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamu alaikum. Welcome to virtual learning class. I hope you are fine, students. Your midterm is finished. Now we are going to start our final term. In final term, we will start our 9th class Islamic book. Okay, we will start our 9th class Islamic book. And this is your 12th lecture in your 9th junior. Okay. In this lecture, students, you will learn about the introduction of Surah Anfal, and we will translate the ayat of Surah Anfal from 1 to 5, and this is your video 12. First of all, introduction of Surah Anfal. Important concepts. First of all, we will discuss. These are, first of all, revealed of Surah Anfal. Number 2, establishment of first Islamic State. Number 3, two groups of Makkah. The second last, the battle was fought at Badr. The last one, substance of Surah Anfal. Moving forward to the next. Here we are going to discuss revealed of Surah Anfal. Surah Anfal was revealed shortly after the Battle of Badr, which was fought on Friday. It was the day of Friday and the date was 17th of Ramadan in the second year of the Hijrah. Yes, next concept is establishment of first Islamic State. The Muslims had been forced to leave Mecca and they had settled in Medina. When Prophet ﷺ became a prophet, after becoming the prophet, he started the preaching of Islam. So many people became the Muslim. So, but the many people of Mecca, so they don't want to become a Muslim, and they forced the Muslim to leave Mecca, and then they had settled in Medina. The Muslim Muhajirin of Mecca and the local Muslims of Medina had established the first Islamic State under the leadership of the Prophet Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. The Muslim Muhajirin who leave Mecca and they migrated from Mecca to Medina, they called the Muhajirin. Okay? And the local Muslim of Medina, they established first Islamic State in Medina, and the first leader of this state was Hazrat Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam. Two groups of Mecca. That time there were two groups in Mecca. Abu Sufyan, who was leading a trade caravan from Syria to Mecca called for the armed forces from Mecca on the pretext that the Muslims of Medina could attack the caravan. At his call, a very big armed force of Meccan infidels mean kuffar, moved towards Medina. The Meccan army numbered over 1,000 men. They were in strength 1,000. They were well equipped. They have the weapons and had among their leaders some of the most experienced warriors of Arabia. Abu Jahl, an adamant foe of Islam. Abu Jahl, he was a very bad, worst enemy, foe mean enemy of Islam, was also one of the leader of the Meccan force. The battle was fought at Badr. The battle was fought at Badr, a place lying at the distance of about 100 kilometers southwest of Medina. Despite unfavorable circumstances, the Muslims won a grand victory. Many of the infidels and their leaders, including Abu Jahl, were killed in the Battle of Badr in the battlefield. Substances of Surah Anfal mean outcomes of Surah Anfal. The spoils of war are the disposal of Allah and His Prophet Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. The true believers accept and obey the instructions of Allah and His Prophet. It is Allah who gives you victory and price of victory. The factors that can save you from the assaults of evil are the number one, faith in God, steadfastness, zeal, energy, and intelligent discipline. God protected his Prophet ﷺ and his followers. Allah make the plan and Allah protect Hazrat Muhammad ﷺ and the other Muslims from the kuffar. Only He can safeguard the believers and destroy all evils. The believers are directed to assign fifth share of the booty to Allah, His Prophet ﷺ, near relatives, orphans, the needy, and the travelers. Allah's help is sufficient, and His punishment is severe for the disbelievers. If believers are united and steadfast and they fight for truth and faith, they shall win the victory even if their enemy is many times greater, many times more in number. But the Muslims will win the victory. The believers should show mercy to the prisoners if the latter accept the true faith. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala has a great reward for those who believe in Allah, left their homes, and struggled for the cause of Allah. Students, it was the introduction of Surah Anfal, and you have to study the introduction of Surah Anfal carefully. Okay, this is the lesson number 1 in your book, and this is the unit A, lesson number 1. All introduction is in your book, so you have to revise carefully because in exams many MCQs will come from the introduction of Surah Anfal. After the introduction, now we are going to translate ayat of Surah Anfal. Today we will do 1 to 5. First of all, we are going to start from ayat number 1. Yes, this is a lesson number 2 in your books, lesson number 2 and ayat number 1. So, Surah Anfal. First of all, you should learn what does mean Anfal. Anfal. Anfal mean booty or spoils of war. Yas'alunaka. Yas'alunaka. Yasalu, ask. Ka, you. Yas'alunaka. They ask you. In this ayat, Allah addressed to the Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, Yasalu, they ask sawal. Ka, you. They ask you, mean the Muslim soldiers ask you, anal anfali, anal about the anfal. Kulil, so say, anfalu, the spoils of war, lillahi, for Allah, wa rasuli, and for his messenger, for his prophet. Fattakullaha, fattaku, fear. Allahu, so fear Allah. Wa aslihu, wa aslihu, mean or remove, reconcile. Zata bainikum, and reconcile the matter of difference. Zata bainikum, among yourselves. If you have any differences among yourself, so you should remove their differences. You should be friends. You should not have any difference matter. Wa'atiullaha, wa'atiu, obey. Wow mean and atiu, obey. Allahu, Allah, and obey Allah. Wa rasulahu, and his Rasul and his Prophet. In, if, kuntum, you are, mu'minin. Mu'minin mean, yes, believers. If you are believers. Yas'alunaka anil anfali, they ask you about the spoils of war. Kulil anfalu lillahi. Kul mean say. Anfalu, spoils of war, lillahi wa rasuli, for Allah and for Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Fattakullaha, So, fa mean so, fattakullaha, fear Allah, wa aslihu, and remove, reconcile, zata bainikum, differences among yourselves, watiullaha wa rasulahu, and obey Allah and His Prophet, in kuntum mominin, if you are believer, so you should do these things. Okay, now we are going to do the next ayat. This is the ayat number 2. Innama, innama, innama mean only. Innamal mu'minuna, only mu'min, believers. Allazina, people, only believers are those people. Iza, when. Zukirallahu, zikr, Allah. Zikr Allah mean when Allah is mentioned. Wajilat, wajilat mean feel fear. Kalubuhum, kalubu, hearts, hum, their. Wajilat, feel fear. Kalubuhum, their hearts feel fear. Waiza, and when. Tuliyat, tuliyat, recited. Talawat, recited. Alayhim, before them. And when recited before them, ayatuhu, his ayat, his revelations, mean ayat of Allah. Zadathum, increased, they increased. Imanan, iman, their faith increased. Ala, and on Rabbihim, their Lord, yatawakkalun, trust, tawakkal. We will revise this ayat. Innamal mu'minuna, only believers. Lazina, those. Only believers are those. Iza zukirallahu, when Allah is mentioned. Wajilat kalubuhum, their hearts feel fear. When Allah is mentioned, their hearts feel fear. Wa iza, and when. Tuliyat alayhim ayatuhu, and when his revelations are recited before them. Zadathum, ziyada, increased, strengthened. Imanan, their iman, faith. So when his revelations are recited, their faith is strengthened. Wa'ala, and on Rabbihim, their Lord, yatawakkalun, and they have trust in their Lord, in their Lord, in their God. Okay. Now we will do the next ayat. Ayat number 3. Allazina, they are yukimu nasalata, yukimuna, who establish. As-salata, salah, prayer, who establish their prayer. Wow, and mimma, from that. Razaqnahum, we gave them. Rizq, yunfikun, they spend from that. Allah, told the quality of the believers. Allazina, the believers are those yuqimuna salata, they establish their prayer. Wa mimma razaqnahum yunfiqun, and what Allah given them they spend from that. Okay. In this ayat, students, and the previous ayat number 2, Allah mentioned the qualities of the believers who have the belief on Allah. Okay, Allah told the qualities of the believers. When Allah is mentioned, then their hearts feel fear. This is a quality. And when Allah's revelations are recited before them, then their iman increased and they trust on their Lord. And in this ayat number 3, Allah mentioned the quality that they established their prayer, and what Allah gave them, they spent from that. They spent for the poor people, for the needy peoples. Okay. Now we are going to do ayat 4. Ulaika, they are humul mu'minuna, believers, haqqan, true. Ulaika humul mu'minuna haqqan. They are the true believers. Haqqan mean true. Darajatun. Darajat, grades. In the, with Rabbihim, their Rabb, their Lord. Wow, and Maghfiratun, and forgiveness. Wariskun, and sustenance or provision. You can use any word, students. You can use the sustenance, you can use the provision. Karimun, generous, honorable. In this ayat, Allah mentioned that Ulaika humul mu'minuna haqqan. So they are the true believers. So this is a reward for the true believers, that lahum darajatun, for them darajatun are grades in the Rabbihim, they have the grades with their Lord. Wa maghfiratun, and forgiveness. Wa rizqun kareem, and Allah will give them the generous sustenance. After ayat number 4, we are going to do ayat number 5. Ayat number 5. Kama, kama, just as. Kama, just as. Akhraja, akhraja mean leave, leave you. Rabbuka, your Rabb, your Lord. Mim, from Baitika, from your home. Bil Haqqi, with the truth. Wa inna, and inna, indeed. Fariqan, one party. Fariqan mean party or a group. Minal mu'minina, from the believers. La karihun, karihun, they did not like it. Karihun mean don't like it, did not like it. Okay. Kama akhrajaka, just as leave you Rabbuka, your Rabb, min baitika, from your home, bil haqqi, with the truth. Just as your Lord caused you to leave your home with truth. وَإِنَّ Even though Fariqan a party minal mu'minina from the believers, one party, la karihun, they did not like it. In this ayat, students, Allah tell us about a group of believers. After becoming the Prophet, Hazrat Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam started the preaching of Islam. So many people become the Muslim. They accept the Islam. But when the Prophet ﷺ said them to migrate from Makkah to Medina, so one group from the believers, they don't want to leave their homes. Okay, they accept the Islam. They were Muslims, but they don't want to leave their relatives. They don't want to leave their family members. They don't want to leave their business in Makkah. So they refuse that they will not migrate from Makkah to Medina. So in this ayat, Allah told us about those believers that they accept the Islam. So many Muslims they migrated from Makkah to Medina with the truth. Truth means they leave their homes in the cause of Allah. But one group from the believers, they did not like it. Okay, this is about that. Yes, students, you're in this lecture. We did the introduction of Surah Anfal. So please, you have to revise carefully. Introduction of Surah Anfal. You will find many MCQs in this introduction. Many MCQs will come from the introduction of Surah Anfal in the exam. And you have to revise these ayat 1 to 5. Okay. So thanks for watching and paying attention. I will see you in your next lecture. Till then, take care. Bye bye.